Yeah. To maintain transparency, what areas of improvement or further development? I know you have mentioned you'll be continuing studies and keep on
Mhm.
on growing. Are there any areas of improvement that you see that your technology will go towards in order to improve its application or impact on health and well-being? Anything
Oh, that's a
big
that's a
that you
fantastic question.
see yourself going towards? Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic question. So I would say that the device itself, the physical device itself, has already been um, optimized. Really, it really functions really well. And there's an old saying: if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So right now, it's doing quite well. So I think for the foreseeable future, it's really the application that we're really going to be focused on in terms of improving. Meaning the big questions. First of all, we have to prove to the general public that the device, we already know, for instance, that the device generates photons. This has already been independently proven. We have devices here that can measure the energy, so on and so forth. So that's established already. What we're now establishing outside of our company is, okay, now that we know the device is generating photons, what impact do these photons have on the body and on disease processes, on tissues that are not functioning well? That's what we're in the midst of proving right now. Once that's completed, we'll just isolate tissues and diseases and keep doing the research. So I would say that because that's what has to be done in order to help as many people as possible, the greatest improvements that we're going to be doing is growing our team, getting more minds on our team, doctors, researchers, um, engineers. These are the minds that we have to recruit, and not just the minds that we want to recruit, but the hearts that we want to recruit. We put a lot of effort into making sure that the people that are part of this team, their heart is in the right place, which is to help as many people as possible. So I would say the technology itself is phenomenal. It's nothing else like it right now. And because our goal is to get it into the hands of as many people as possible, we know it's going to take research. We know it's going to take perfecting systems within our practice, or within our company. It's going to take people who know how to sell without being salesy. It's going to take innovative marketing strategies. So that requires people. It requires minds, and it requires people who have the right intentions. So that's where we want to focus on in terms of improving for the foreseeable future. Great question.
Well, great answer. Yeah. No, I'm very thankful for all the details that you're providing to all of my questions. And I hope it's not too many questions, but I
I love
like
questions.
very detailed when I cover a subject. Um, so I am currently at let's say your
Hour.
Pennsylvania Center,
Sure.
which is the study center, if I'm
Mhm.
correct. And I'm staying here for 28 days. So to be doing a study, I'm the test subject of the
Mhm.
study.
Mhm.
How long can I expect the benefit to last?
Oh.
Um, and I'm asking that because it just occurred to me, and I was reading, I have, so the generators under the bed, as we call it, the med bed. So
Mhm.
I'm not sure even we mentioned that earlier. The generators in this medbed center are placed under the bed. That's why I suppose it's called medbed, if I can say. So we
Sure. Yeah.
have a bunch of generators under the bed that have a range of 10 feet, if I'm correct. And
Mhm.
this is how we get the exposure. So mainly when we sleep during the night over a period of 8 hours minimum.
Mm.
And I took one of those and I was reading what was on the generators itself. And the product is called Biophoton generators for Medbed, or at least the
Mhm.
one I took.
Mhm.
And it states shelf life 36 months.
Mhm.
So what does that mean? So also in complement, so how long when I leave here, when I no longer have those under my bed, how long can I expect the benefit to last? Will I need to
Mhm.
come back? How frequently would I need to
Mhm.
come back? And what does the shelf life of 36 months means?
Oh, those are very good questions. Okay, so let's do the shelf life question first. We have a 36-month shelf life, and the shelf life has to do with how long we have data to support that the device will be at 100% power. So
Okay.
because the company's only 4 years old, at the time that we established that shelf life, we had about 3 years worth of data to show that it's going to be at 100% power for at least 3 years. Also, from a commercial standpoint, within that 3 year window, if someone says, you know what, I'm not sure my device is generating energy anymore, within that window, we offer to test their device for free. So they ship it to us, we'll test it, and we'll send
Okay.
them a confirmation that the device is still, um, optimally functioning, or we'll replace the device if it's not optimally functioning. So that's why the 3 year shelf life is important from the standpoint, from a purely scientific standpoint, outside of the realm of regulations. um, if you have a device that's generating energy and in a 3 year period it hasn't even decreased in 1%, then you can just theoretically say, well, we don't really know how long it's going to generate energy until it starts to lose power.
Mm.
Let's say in 5 years it starts to dip a little bit, then we'll know, okay, for 5 years it's going to be at 100% power, and then it will slowly start to degenerate. Then we'll have to do more studies to figure out when it's not generating energy at all. So the 3 year shelf life only has to do with how much data at the time we had to support that it would be at 100% power.
Okay, well, thank you
In
for,
terms of,
sorry, sorry,
yeah,
sorry, go ahead.
you're welcome. You're welcome. In terms of how long you can expect, or anyone can expect, the benefit to last, the first part of my answer is going to be like this answer again, and then I'll expound. So it truly does vary from person to person, and to truly um, give a viewpoint of what that means. Let's go back to an analogy I used earlier. If you take a healthy person, you put them in a dark room, within days to weeks, their health is going to decline. And then if you remove that person and put them back into the sunlight, every cell of their body is going to wake up. So many times when people use our technology, they're in that phase where they've been in a dark room for a while, whether that's lifestyle choices, whatever it is. They get into the sunlight, which in this analogy would be our technology. The cells wake up and start doing what they do. Some people return home and go back into the dark room, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm. Pick
They
up the
go back into a
modality.
dark. That's right. For that person, I would say oftentimes, depending on how long they've stayed, they can have benefits that range anywhere from, you know, 10 days, like for a 1 hour session, people will come for 1 hour, or 8 hours. And for 10 days or 2 weeks, they're feeling great. And then they slowly start feeling themselves drop back down to normal. Some people come one time and it just resolves everything. It's like the body just needed a little bit of extra so that the body could do what it has to do, and then they never come back again. They never purchase technology because it just resolves. Most people are somewhere in between 10 days and forever. Right? So some people they're good for 3 months, some people are good for 6 months, some people come once every other month. um so the best way I know how to answer this question is to go back to another thing that we talked about, where this almost seems like a magic pill. A better way I like to explain it is, there are two components to self-healing, long-term self-healing. One component is tools. Our body needs tools. Tools are things like vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, sunlight, fresh air. Those are tools. Our body needs those things to perform. Those are the tools. But the body needs energy in order to put those tools to work. So there are two components. And I like this relationship between us and our customer. We have a responsibility to give you the energy, to make sure our devices are working properly, to make sure that we educate you on how to use it properly so that your body can be energetically supported. It's your responsibility to give your body the tools. And when you match those two together, people who put those two things together are people who get the long-term or quote unquote permanent changes and turnarounds in their health challenges. People who go back to the dark room, they either have to keep coming back every so often, maybe once a month, once every couple of months to support themselves. And that's the difference. That's the difference. And I'll say this also, that really the sessions, you're in a clinical trial, but the sessions, so people who come for an hour, people who come for a day or several days, they're designed really to give evidence to that person, to give that person an experience and hopefully push them to understand that the investment in even a smaller unit to have at home can be a game changer for them, because even if it's less power, but it's available to them all the time, it can turn their dark room into a room that's even dimly lit or a little bit lit, and it can make a difference.
Well, thank you for the detailed answers. We are getting to the end of this interview. Also, I'm checking our time. We are at 6 minutes. So if you feel like it, I have 2 more questions for you. Sure. If you can do that in 6 minutes.
I can do it.
Okay. So lastly, how can individual access Tesla Biohealing technology?
Good question. So our website is www.teslabiohealing.com. The website is useful for several things. One, you can reach out to us and ask all the questions you want, the hard questions we love. You can reach us by email at info@teslabiohealing.com. You can call the corporate office at 302-265-2213 and ask representatives all the questions you want. You can buy technology over the phone. You can schedule visits at the closest center to you over the phone. And you can also do both of those things on the website. You can purchase devices through the website, and you can purchase devices over the phone.
Okay, great. Yes. The website, I think, is the easiest way to be in touch with you and even to make any purchases. Part of my question was time frame, but I think we already answered this question as far as what people can expect as far as time frame. It will depend on the individual itself and budget considerations. I believe we don't need to get into too much details here, unless you want to mention something in particular, but I think all of this information is available on your website as far as
yes. The only thing I will add is that in terms of how soon you may see changes in your body once you start using the technology or visiting a center, oftentimes it ranges from hours to usually 48 hours. Usually sometimes between almost immediately and 48 hours, people start to see the small changes. They start to get better sleep, more energy, mental clarity. They may even feel problem areas and feel tingling in certain areas. So the little signs people typically see sometime in the first 48 hours. And then it's like that effect builds. And then sometime between like a week and 2 weeks out, people start noticing symptomatic changes like my blood sugar is lower, my blood pressure is lower, so on and so forth.
Okay. Well, last question now. Is there anything else you would like to share or convey to our audience and listeners before we conclude this interview? Final thoughts or messages related to the technology itself and its potential benefit? Anything that you want to add?
That's a great question. This is my final take-home message to anybody I meet, whether it's here at Tesla Biohealing, in my private business, so on and so forth. Take responsibility and control of your own health. Whether you use Tesla Biohealing or not, do your own research, find as many helpful therapies and approaches as you can and try them for yourself as long as they're safe. And brighten up your dark room. brighten up your dark room. You know, we can help with that, but there are natural ways to darken up your to lighten acronyms. Nutrition. E is exercise or movement. W is water. Okay, so that's new. Nutrition, exercise, water. Start. S is sunshine. T is temperance or moderation, contentment. A is air, as in fresh air. R is rest, and that's rest from many things, not just sleep, but rest from relationships, rest from technology, rest from the media, rest from everything that causes your body stress that is necessary. Make sure you rest from those things. The T stands for trust, trust in God, trust in a higher power. Whatever you believe in has to be a part of how you live. It can't be just a thought. It has to be integrated in how you live. The people who live the longest and the people who are the happiest, make sure that those 8 principles are a part of their everyday life. So brighten up your dark room.
Thank you so much for sharing. That was a really deep final answer, if I can say. And it's to, I think, take your own responsibility and take a 360-degree look around yourself and where you stand and where you are in your life. I think, like you mentioned, diet is a very important aspect to maintain good health. Being outside, not spending all day inside,
Absolutely.
and maintaining those very healthy habits is, I think, what will get you to you said the final line, or no, yes, final
That's
line.
right. Yeah.
So thank you so much again. I really want to thank you for your time, all the details you provided to all these questions. I really, really appreciate all the information. I'm very fond of this new technology, energy-based technology, everything that would relate to vibration, energy. I had another word, but it escaped. So I'm very, very thankful for all the details you provided, and I'm sure the listeners will gain confidence. I think you really built, so I'm saying less than a minute, but you really built on the trust of those products. They're really safe for anyone, and it can be really something phenomenal, fantastic for any sort of condition that anybody can hear. So thank you very much for answering all this, Dr. Seth. And
You're welcome.